I'd have to completely agree. I mean, back in the towards the beginning of the season, he was a little cocky, I have to say, just in terms of his play style. Like, you saw him going for plays that he probably shouldn't have, that, you know, ended up with a death that maybe EG didn't need. But it seems more humble now. He's more reserved, like, especially on a casting, when you need to know that line to cross and when not to cross it, in terms of going in, trying to kill someone and pulling away, and he's been able to balance that.
Well, let's have a look then. We are in Champion Select. Kassadin and Fizz banned out here for EG. Now, this is because of what SK do in the bans and picks, which is leave Ocelot's pick technically, usually till last. So Twisted Fate being taken out on the other side. They're going to get rid of Vayne, which is been, funnily enough, Yellow Pete's go-to champion as well for the last few games. Also on the other side for Candy Panda as well. So we're already going to see possibly a bit of competition for those AD carries in there. At least the final ban out for SK, and well, we all know why. Elise is just so very, very strong, and Shaka is a fantastic Elise jungler. Yeah, and with that banned out, we've only seen him play, I believe, Xin as his next major champion, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them, you know, go with that just yet. But that Vayne ban, I mean, you're completely right. Yellow Pete plays it, but Candy Panda has a 16.3 KDA on it. He has 3 out of 4 wins with her. Like, they don't want to go up against that champion. And EG, with this first pick, it seems like they should have expected this Elise ban, and yet they're just kind of talking things over. They're just making sure that they want to take this pick that they're going to go for. And they still have a lot of champions, like Shen's open, Malphite's open, which Wicked's been straying away from lately. I'm not sure if I agree with the Zac first pick from this one. I believe Xin to be a more
higher priority
pick between these two teams, because Shaka, as you said, when he's not at Elise, fallen back into that Xin Zhao. Hercubot, out of his top 3 played junglers so far in the season, only has wins on one of them, that is Xin. So I think that's going to be possibly in the first round of picks here for SK, because EG have locked in the Zac.
And who plays Zac on SK? I don't remember Kevin or Hercubot ever playing him.
I believe Kevin has.
Okay, he has?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
which still is a minuscule in terms of the other stuff that he plays.
Exactly.
Elise, Shen, Kennen are his top 3 plays here, and there we see the Shen being hovered over here for SK.
And not to mention Rumble, which I really...
and his Rumble, yeah.
We were all confused why we never saw it played, and then he showed us yesterday just how strong he still is on that champion. Obviously didn't win that game against Alternate, but he just showed like he is dominating with it, and I'm still surprised. And
especially since double AP comps are becoming more normal again as well from that one. So we'll have to see right now a Shen and a Zed. That was the 2-man kill team that NIP had set up in their last game against Meet Your Makers. See if SK can copy that.
Okay, there's no guarantee that Zed will be on Ocelot, though. I'm just thinking, because Kevin has played Zed before in the top lane, and also, just like you said before, he usually gets that last pick for his team to kind of counter pick. So it's one of those champions that you can pretty much put in that mid lane or in that top lane. You have to be very careful of that. And Kevin, I mean, phenomenal Shen, but Hercubot, I guarantee he plays a strong Shen as well in that jungle.
What are EG going to go for? We saw them earlier on playing a Yorick, obviously with Wicked there, which for me is another thing you can work against Zed, because if you have the ultimate on your AD carry or whoever you want to go with there, and Zed bursting down, then you still have him for the duration of the fight. It lasts long enough for that. So that could be an option for them either way, which would mean then that Zac would have to go into the jungle with Shaka. So we'll have to see about that one. Right now, they're just switching around a lot, so I don't want to comment on exactly what they're going to go for, but it will be actually Fiddlesticks and Varus locked in for EG.
Yeah, so Krep, he's been talking with us a little bit about his Fiddlesticks. Hasn't made it public just yet, but he's been saying he really enjoys that champion. It really fits quite a few roles, and when you pair that in with a Varus, like the ultimate of Varus comes down, free Fiddlesticks ultimate, you're going to kill that person with the fear, with the silence. And late game, when you have a Zed, if you catch him with a fear or silence, all that damage is gone. So it's pretty much just like a Yorick, it's pretty much just like a Kayle. You can mitigate a lot of that damage if you pair that in with an Exhaust. And I want to see how good Krep is on Fiddlesticks, because if I'm not mistaken, and I know you're going to correct me on this if I'm wrong, he hasn't played Fiddlesticks just yet this season.
No, the thing is, he has gone for his more standard stuff. You know, the Thresh obviously is a big one for Krepo. Yeah. Lulu, he's even played 4 games with Janna up until now. So, you know, Fiddlestick's going to be coming into this one. We'll see what Krepo can do with it. But we've heard from a lot of support players, and we've seen it from the amount of times that he's been picked so far in the summer split, that they're liking him. On the other side, though, Zyra Ashe, saw it yesterday. We commented on it already from SK Gaming, kind of taking what Cloud9 did, what's been done in Korea before that as well with the Zyra Ashe bottom lane. I don't want to give Cloud9 too much for that one, even though you know, they're doing so well with it and have done so well with it that we saw it first really being used over in Korea. So we'll see it on the other side now for EG, what they're actually going to go with. And they're going to go for Jarvan and Jace. As I said, Froggen has a 100% win ratio with Jace up until now. It's not the same Jace that he has a 100% win ratio with, granted, because of the changes to both him and the tier, but I still think Froggen, as you know, a champion master, he really does master the champions that he brings to the table. I think he can still pull something out with him.
If you've seen him playing on his stream lately with his Smurf, like ranking that up, he's been playing Jace a little bit, and oh god, it's like you never change it against him because he is just so strong that champion. Just like I said, 100% win ratio, and the poke he pulls off. I mean, I'm thinking back to, I think it was Moscow when they played against Fnatic, and he just destroyed them in that mid lane. Just was pushing up 1v3 into that middle second turret, and not to mention you have that range against. Oh wow, sorry, that Lee Sin kind of caught me off guard a little bit. So we are going to have looks like Ocelot on that Zed in the middle lane, and against a Jace with the auto attack range, I mean you're going to apply some good harass.
So there is the final pick then coming out, the Lee Sin for Hercule bot. Again, a champion which he used to play quite a lot when he was, in these all-French lineups where he really started to make his name, the Cyphers, the Millenniums that he was in before joining SK Gaming. So really interested to see what he brings to the table with that one here today.
I remember you and I were casting, it was EMS or EPS.
You tried to get this story out.
I tried to, yeah,
Jason.
I tried to. Because I didn't remember him playing Lee Sin until I thought of that moment, and we were casting it, and we were just...
It was Millennium that he was...
It was Millennium, okay,
yeah.
And we were just amazed. Like, we were calling him pretty much Diamond Proxy's level of Lee Sin, and he hasn't been able to show it just yet. And I remember when he first joined SK, if you think back to Insol Extreme Masters Katowice, he played Shaco. Like he plays all these like random junglers, but he just never has the opportunity to do it. And Lee Sin, back on one of his, to me, it's a comfort champion for him. It's going to be awesome to see how well he does.
Well, we'll find out here in just a little while there. Evil Geniuses on your screens, looking in concentration mode during setup. There were laughs all around, but now, getting down to that serious business time, there's no real joking coming into this one. Everyone concentrated on the prize, which of course is a spot in the playoffs, and then fighting for the world playoffs. That's a stage that everyone wants to be on coming out of the summer split here for this. So we'll see if they're able to pull this one off. One of these teams is going to make a move somewhere in the table, whether that's SK, jumping closer to Gambit's position and maybe more importantly away from Meet Your Makers in the last spot, or Evil Geniuses who've really turned on the heat in this last couple of weeks and stepped up their game, now above Gambit in the table. Gonna have that opportunity, like I said, to go level on 12 and 11 with Ninjas in Pajamas, leaves them just 2 wins away from Lemon Dogs right at the top.
And everyone was waiting to see Evil Geniuses and SK really step it up because they've been very quiet this entire season, and there's no better time than right now. And SK, I mean, we talk about Evil Geniuses playing better over the past few weeks, but honestly, so is SK. Ever since, Tenerife, even I believe the week before that, week 5, they've been picking up some much-needed wins. They haven't looked as solid. They've looked a little bit inconsistent, but we know the skill's there. We know the team that they can be, and it looks like they're trying to bring that back, and they're going to go for an invade here, but Shaker will spot him with that flag.
Yeah, SK... no worries here. They are charging on forward over towards the blue buff of EG and putting a ward down there, Nif, just by the curved side bush as he goes through. One over on the bush by the blue buff as well, and SK will make a swift retreat. Over the other side, Crepo has already gone on a warding mission as well, and he'll be trying to get vision on that side of the map for his team.
And remember last game we were talking about what's the point of putting these deep wards if you're not really going to go for an invade and you just pretty much trade the buffs anyways. But right now SK, they go from the blue of Evil Geniuses straight to the red. So they actually kind of are preventing Shaker from taking his own blue right away. Like they have the vision on it, and they're actually just going to take the vision on the red and then back away too. So that's a lot of wards to commit so early on, and that makes them more vulnerable in that laning phase.
Well, so I think one thing that they've got in mind here is how aggressive Shaker is, and having vision on both sides of the map is obviously going to give them an advantage. Or I say an advantage, certainly the knowledge to create an advantage from that. Obviously, you don't get an instant advantage just by knowing where the opposition's jungler is. But the start will be on the red buff by the looks of things. Lane swaps coming in as well, as we see here for Evil Geniuses with both Yellow Pete and Crepo headed up to that top lane. They'll go up against Kevin Shen. That will actually leave Froggen here to try and shot blast away. Oh, it was so close. It was so ridiculously close there for Froggen. If he'd have waited one more auto attack there from Lee Sin, he would have picked up that blue buff. Crazy.
And that's just great awareness out of Froggen, realizing that every jungler does not smite their initial buff anymore. And I swear, if you go into a rank game with like someone like John and you just throw random tornado over the wall, you can steal it away. I've done it before. I've seen it done before. It's been done to me before. But that just shows like he's really adapting to the meta, and he almost pretty much set Hercubot so far behind and gave himself such a huge advantage in that mid lane.
Well, it didn't happen. That's the key point for this game right now. All ifs and buts at this stage, but Froggen at least applying the pressure to Ocelot, who is obviously going to have an advantage over here in this laning phase, just for the fact that he has those ranged attacks which he can use to really put on the pressure to Ocelot's Zed. Yeah,
and I really want to say, can Ocelot have a game like Bjergsen? I mean, we just saw Bjergsen just dominate his lane, dominate the entire game, and I know Ocelot wants to show everyone else he can do that. And I'm happy seeing Ocelot on Assassins again. I mean, he talked about it in his interview, saying he's just playing him because he enjoys it right now. And he played a lot of Orianna in the split so far. Hasn't been too successful on her, but as Kha'Zix, for instance, 3-3 with it. And why not play more Assassin champions if you have the ability to?
Wow,
I'm not sure if that flash was needed.
Not sure if he got the range on him there either way, but now better safe than sorry, I suppose, with that Lee Sin, who at level 3 with a double buff in particular is ridiculously strong, putting out so much damage, hard to get away from. So as I said, better safe than sorry. Don't leave anything to any kind of chance there for that one. In this bottom lane though, we see Candy Panda and Nif already putting down a lot of pressure, getting into that turret, but look at this, Shaka coming in from the side, and SK did just spot him, and the thing is, that's a really easy gap there to hit the grasping root. So Shaka's got to be really on top of things when it comes to sliding in.
Yeah, and he just wants to make sure that Wicked can keep this experience from this wave, because it was a giant wave push up against his own turret, trying to get him a little bit more CS. He does have that door and shield, so he's going to get a little bit more regen, but Froggen right now, he's going to get ganked here.
Yeah, Q-Bot coming in from the side, Ocelot putting down the damage, the Q misses, and a hammer will knock Q-Bot back. Froggen here did take half of his HP down, or had his half of his HP removed from him. But that won't bother him too much. He's started off with the Doran's Blade. Doran's Shield start, of course, for Ocelot, as you'd probably expect, as Froggen is going to get ganked here once again, but Shaka's around, and that stops her Q-Bot going in. His Q actually hit Shaka as he came out of the brush.
Yeah, there's one thing we haven't touched on too much over these weeks with Shaka coming into the team. We'd always talked about NIP with Maluno and Extinct, how they played together in Curse of You, they have a lot of synergy, they know exactly how each other play. But we haven't talked much about Froggen and how he's been duo queuing with Shaka so much, like even before he joined the team, and they have a lot of synergy, and you see right there where Shaka's trying to make a play happen for Froggen in that middle lane. Unfortunately, not too successful, but it does at least give him his presence.
So let's have a look then here in his top lane, because Kevin has just got taunted up. Can they get in there? Hercubot, you see the damage on towards Crepo. Exhaust put down, but the flash comes in from Hercubot. That's going to be first blood here coming out for Hercubot. A much needed and a very welcome pickup for SK. Meanwhile, Wicked in the bottom lane. Is this Ignite going to be enough to pop the passive?
So
no,
tiny.
not quite. Not quite enough damage there. Nif risking it with the turret hits. And, well, Wicked has stayed alive, and he's going to risk it for a biscuit in this bottom lane and stay up there, or down there.
He's so tiny right now. But yeah, I mean, if he gets hit by one volley, that is his passive going. Right now, Shaka is coming on the side, and with SK seeing him stick around, like, they have to know something's up, but are they going to push? Are they going to try to go for this dive here?
Well, there is the volley coming in, and there he is getting hit by the plants at the back turret. Going to fix those ones off, as Candy Panda, I'm sure, itching to fire those shots off onto him. But Shaka has actually taken a lot of damage as he's come down to help from this one as well. Wicked needs to get away. He's going to get held in position by those grasping roots, but with that siege minion wave coming through, they're probably safe to actually escape from this if they should want to. Wicked has only just pressed his recall again, which is going to mean a volley and a combo of abilities can come out of Nif as well.
And right now, I mean, they have no vision. Well, they do finally have vision on where Hercubot is on that Lee Sin, and they're sticking around like they want to keep this experience. They don't want to give this up, but that turret is already so low.
Yeah, there's more plants coming out, not quite in range, and Wicked, he's still there. Finally, he's going to get that recall going through. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Kevin also had taken a lot of damage from Yellow Pete and Crepo. The turret is similarly low to that one on the bottom.
And we do see Froggen backing away. He has a nice CS lead in that middle, 52-36, builds that tier right away, so he's going for crazy amount of harass, but that is the first turn of the game going over to SK, and EG respawn with one in kind, so we might see AD carry supports just swap lanes entirely, and not really, and pretty much stop from going up against each other.
Well, he could end up with everything very even, because we're going to be seeing Zach going into this top lane. But actually, Shen's going up there as well, so it's going to actually normalize things somewhat. So we'll have the duos down in the bottom lane with Zach versus Shen up on the top side. SK here is making sure that that blue buff going to be safe. Don't want a repeat of Froggen's very near miss last time.
Yeah, that would... I mean, I really wonder how different the game would be, because something like that early on can snowball a game just like Bjergsen had in the last one with NIP. But he's not going to do that, and instead he's going to be able to pick up his own blue buff here very shortly. And I was just looking at some stats real quick, and Evil Geniuses, they're the fastest dragon-taking team in EU, including the summer split, like combined summer and spring, at 10 minutes and 1 second. And right now, with this swap happening, with Shaka coming down, they might try to go for a dragon. I think pull off a kill, but Hercubot's here to stop it.
Yeah, Hercubot's right in there. Candy Panda's gone superbly low. There's a flash away. Well, you can't flash the second time. Cataclysm helping get the kill. Shaka picked that one up for himself, and despite the presence of Hercubot, SK not able to hold on with the power of that Jarvan.
And that's the downside of playing Ashe. You don't have that escape mechanism on any ability. I mean, you have Hawkshot, which... Just technically, if you want to go at it like that, is an escape mechanism because you get the vision, but that is a downside.
That's a prevention.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but she has the major upside of that arrow, that best initiate spell in the game, and we're gonna see how well he's gonna use it as this game progresses.
Well, yesterday he certainly was on form when it came to landing those crystalline arrows. Right now, Wicked was just having a look, see where Kevin had actually gone on this top side of the map. EG are trying to put the pressure onto that bottom turret, which, you know, duo lanes, we probably shouldn't see one of them going down without the interference, the backup of one of the junglers.
But right now, though, Yopi, he does have a BF sword, so he has a lot of AD over Candy Panda. Doesn't have that guaranteed crit every so often, but both AD carry swords, yeah. I mean, you really wouldn't expect a turret or a turret to go down again in that bottom lane after they already lost the bottom one for Evil Geniuses. And I'm waiting for Shaka. Like, we talked about him being an aggressive jungler. To me, he hasn't been that aggressive this game. But then again, he hasn't really had the opportunity to be that aggressive.
Yeah, that's one thing you gotta always think about is where is Shaka's biggest opportunity from this one? Is it on the Shen, who's playing more careful here because of the fact that the tower's down? Is it on the bottom lane that's got the multitude of slows out of Ashe, the roots coming out of Zyra, even Stranglethorns and the arrow even you can use to stop that coming in there. Zed, who's slippery himself. So I think it's hard for Shaka to actually single out a champion right now that he's, you know, can guaranteed a kill with.
Oh, well, SK looks like they're actually going to go for the first dragon. They do have a pink ward. It is going to be spotted by Shaka, though, and it's going to be a very ballsy play by them. This guy should be a very big play if they do take this dragon. A nice amount of gold, but EG, they're coming in from the sides. They want to stop this from happening, and when there's a Fiddlesticks who's level 5, he doesn't have the opportunity to ult into that wave just yet. If he is level 6, that threat will keep SK away from that dragon.
Yeah, and that's why they started to go back down there, try and get him up to level 6 from this one, but everything that he's got, even without that ultimate, could be enough for Shaka here. Going to get engaged on the arrow. Completely whiffed there coming out, and Shaka manages to slide over the wall. Froggen going to be his protection going up towards the top, but he's got to dodge the Q. Not able to dodge the Q, and Hercubot's going to pick up the kill. Puts SK back in the lead.
And Hercubot showing that he can play that Lee says. Wicked gets very low in the top lane.
Yeah, very low, but not going to get his passive pop there again. And almost coming in range for the Vorpal Blade, which I think would have probably finished him off. Either way, that kill onto Shaka takes the smite out of the game and takes the probable likelihood of a steal on Dragon to 0. It's going to go to SK.
Yeah, it's a great job by them. Great job by Hercubot, too, to pick up that champion, which was on his back burner for such a long time, and to pretty much play it with style. He has all the kills for his team right now. He's pretty far ahead, and so already has the spirit of the ancient golem dub. But now Froggen coming for a gank on a Kevin.
Yep, and you see the damage already with that shock blast. Here comes the hammer. Wicked not at all worried from this one. He knows he's got that passive available. Will get procced, actually. Froggen couldn't quite finish off Kevin before that happened, but Wicked, you don't lose anything for having that passive proc. You just got to play a little bit more careful.
And importantly, it
didn't actually use his flash, by the way, there, Wicked. So rather the passive go down.
I think the passive is on a longer or a shorter cooldown. Yeah, it is on a shorter cooldown, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, like Froggen, more importantly, he got a kill. Like, he's already winning CS in his lane. He's already made, so also has been able to pick a thing up. But Krepo goaded on Nim.
Oh, this is bad news, but Krepo actually underneath the turret. It's going to be enough damage, though. And really, EG managing to combine perfectly. Zyra couldn't actually, or Nif I should really say, couldn't quite manage to snipe off Crepo there with the passive after death. But another great chain of, that was a pun, not even intended. I was going to say chain of events, but of course the chain of corruption coming in from Yellow Peak, followed on by the ultimate out of Crepo, and you just don't escape it. We said it so many times before that, as well as amazing kit in terms of crowd control for Fiddlesticks, his ultimate does so much damage without any AP behind you.
Exactly. The base numbers on it are just fantastic, and it allows you to build straight into support items, or even in new 10 Dude X's over in North America, just build a tank out of them from the jungle. And we're going to see how it's going to work, because obviously what's really bad about this, about Fiddlesticks, is if you don't have control of vision around the map. If you can't get that sneaky Fiddlesticks ultimate, if you can't get SK to engage upon you, then counter it with that, then you lose the entire purpose of him to be able to get in there quickly to, fear or silence one or two targets.
So let's have a look at gold here. 1,300 the difference between the two. We're going to see Kevin and Wicked now facing off in this mid lane. Kevin, a little bit of ahead of him there in terms of items with Sunfire Cape already done. Wicked got the works of it. Both obviously going with Dora and Shield. Kevin deciding to go to that Sunfire Cape rather than into the boots that Wicked got earlier on there as well. And there are the statistics for the Shen for Kevin. Picking it up here for his 4th time running. So obviously big favour of that one. And, well, it's a Shen at the end of the day. Who's not? Well, who's not a fan of having it in the team, I'll put it that way, because there's a couple of top laners who don't like to actually play the Shen.
I'm not going to say any names, but they're French. So we do have Ocelot, though, farming up these double golems. He's trying to keep up with Frog, and like Zed, I mean, you're such a strong champion overall, and farm really helps you out quite a bit, but what gives you such a big advantage is getting kills early on. Like, if you can make that happen, it puts you so much ahead of the other person. And right now he's level 11, so he's keeping up with Frog in terms of that. But right now, EG, they're going for a 4-man push on this turret, and Kevin's the one to defend it, so they should be able to get that for free.
Hercubot actually coming in from this one, and I was wondering if EG were thinking of maybe jumping on top of Kevin there, because he went down really quickly for what they had going in on top of him. In the end, though, deciding against that. And look at EG, already started to ward deep after taking down that top outer turret. Ocelot's just trying to get as much farm as he can from his top side. And EG going to be setting up a bit of a trap here, and may challenge for the red as well.
And what's really weird, actually, we'll wait a second, as he's going to go in for the steal here. He does have Smite.
Oh, and there we go. Use the Shock Blast with the Smite there. Brilliantly done, Shaka and Froggen, and that just shows you the synergy between the two. Communication already down. They've played so much solo queue together, as he said before, even Shaka came into the EG team itself, and that's the kind of thing you can do if you know how you're playing with your teammates.
Yeah, exactly, and one great thing about them taking that top tier 1 turret is the fact that they can contest the red buffs like that, because if you look at SK's lineup, a red buff to them is worth way more than a blue buff, and by taking that away constantly, which they should be able to do since they have the timer on it now, you're really hurt them. You're going to hurt Ocelot quite a bit, who kind of maybe will need it, but Kenny Panda, he obviously could use the extra damage too.
Yeah, as energy champions, which do still benefit obviously from the blue buff itself, but the red buff, as you said, is going to be more crucial, as we are going to see the arrow coming out here onto Wicked. He's going to use Let's Bounce, but he gets pretty much locked up. Stranglethorn's not able to hold him in place, and he lost about half of his health from that, which honestly, for those ultimates, is not really what you're looking for.
Well, the thing is, he would have died, but he did something amazing. He flashed ahead of Hercubot. Like, he realized what Hercubot was trying to do, trying to kick him back into his team, and he flashed over, and Hercubot was just a little bit too late, or Wicked was just a little bit too quick, and that honestly prevented his death. And he lost a lot of cooldowns, but at this stage of the game, I mean, just staying alive is the big thing, especially when dragons come up in a minute.
Yeah, 1 minute for that one as a blast comes through. Froggen, who is ahead of Ocelot in the farm, got Brutalizer in there, got that Man Immune as well, which, obviously is going to be stacking up a little bit easier than just having that tier in there singly. And he's just going to stay in this mid lane because he's such a champion that you can't leave alone in that mid lane, because he can push those minion waves out so quick and then do a lot of damage to your turret very fast.
Yeah, he can. With that W in his range for him. And right now, EG, they're setting up for a kill on a Kevin here. If they get this, they have a free dragon right after it. Kevin's got to be a little careful. He's very tanky, but it's all about that Sunfire Cape when you have Krepo doing so much, and you have the CC. But here comes Froggen from the side.
Here we go. They're going to go for it. Where is the Chain of Corruption? Actually, Kevin trying to get away. Chain of Corruption is going to land. Kevin is going to burst through that one, but is he going to get away from all the damage? Krepo has to flash out in the end. And EG pick up another one with that exact combo that we were talking about earlier. There's the Hawk Shot coming down. Arrow's going to come off cooldown in a sec. Krepo needs to be shielded from it in the end. Candy Panda decided not going to be worth it.
Yeah, and that dive, I mean, it worked out well because they got the kill, but it could have gone a little bit cleaner because they might have been able to pick up an objective right after that. But either way, a kill is a kill at this point. You're up 4-2 as Evil Geniuses. You're down gold right now, but at this stage in the game, that's not that much. And right now, as long as you're holding Ocelot back a little bit, who has actually been free farming quite a bit, so he has that potential to become very deadly very quickly if you don't keep him in check like you need to do. And EG, I mean, they tried 1 or 2 ganks on a middle, but actually, no, they didn't even gank him. Yeah, they tried 1 gank middle, but that was it. And right now, you're seeing Froggen just tear through that turret with Yellow Pete.
Yeah, Hercubot actually going to kick Froggen back here. Shen going to come down with Stan United. There's a taunt under the turret to get that turret damage as well. Froggen trying to speed away, but the rest of SK coming around the side. Froggen flashes over. He's still alive, but you have to wonder for how long here. Can he get rid of Hercubot? Of course not. One auto attack will finish off. Shaka in the meantime doing damage to mid turret. He's going to get caught out by Ocelot and Candy Panda as well.
Oh, wow, he's actually getting very low here.
Yeah, Arrow coming in as well. The death mark going down and a flash over the top. He's revealed. Ocelot going to give chase to him. There is the Blade of the Ruin King trying to hold him back, but he slides away. But where you going to go? There's turrets all around you. And he's surely going to go down. No, he's trying to get those seconds to tick away from him. He's just put the shield on, which basically gave Ocelot the kill, even if he wasn't going to be next. He would have taken more. As Nif going to get caught out with Dragon as well. There's Let's Bounce and Chain of Corruption, but they're very tanky members here for SK. As Hercubot dashes through onto Yellow Pete. Barrier used. Kevin goes very low. Look at Krepo. He's at the back there doing decent damage to them as well, but in the end, they have to back off, and that will end with a 2-for-2.
I mean, if you want to count Froggen going in there too, it was a 2-for-3, yeah. And then Dragon going down as well over for SK, so they picked up a nice little bit of chunk, or a nice chunk of gold off of that. And Shaka, yeah, he's like trying to kite Ocelot, but you can't really kite his Zed too well, and he's dead in the end. But that's Hercubot now, 3-0-1. We talk about kill spread quite a bit, and he has pretty much all the kills on his hands. And you look over at EG side, they have him split across the team as every member at least has 1 kill. And right now, I mean, Lee said he does fall off late game. He's pretty much only used for that initiate, or the second initiate after the Ash arrow. And I'm curious, is he going to build a little bit more damage or just go straight tanky? And with the items that he has, looks like he will go for that Runic Bulwark. Here comes Krepo.
They're going in straight on towards Krepo, and Candy Panda's a dead man. There were the Stranglethorns coming down. Turret focusing Krepo, but teammates can actually kill that off before it could even get close to getting the killing blows in there. And again, we see that whole combo. Froggen going to take down this bottom outer turret as well with that attack speed steroid on his W to finish that one off. Ocelot going to reply on the top.
That's got to be so frustrating as Candy Panda because Krepo just feared him, then ulted in his face. Like, he ulted right in front of him and just said there's nothing he can do about it. Just take it, man. You're going to die. And he ended up happening.
It was actually grasping rooted as well for pretty much the entire time until the jump actually came in from it. So, sad times really coming out there for SK, but not easy to hold the fiddlesticks down, even when he's doing it in plain sight of you. Usually he's just flying over a wall and you just scream and run away, but this time not quite able to do the same.
I've heard you do that in the office before, when fiddlesticks goes over the wall.
I run away from my PC though, that's the problem. Fiddlesticks is that scary of a, I was going to say man, but he's more of a scarecrow, isn't he?
It's a stick. Yeah, no, scarecrow, yeah. So we do have Blue going over to Froggen right now. He's 2-1. He's trying to maintain that 100% win record right now on him right now. And Krepo, we talked about earlier, like a Fiddlesticks, the downside is that if you don't have control of vision around the map, the ults that you're going to use are kind of going to be caught and stopped. But with that Oracle, it's going to help facilitate that. And right now, Nif doesn't have one himself. I had to check just to make sure, because I was pretty sure he didn't have one.
Yeah, not got one on there right now. And actually, he's the one running the GP10 at this point.
So because that GP10, even though he didn't get kills in lane, really got 2 assists, it actually sets him behind a little bit. But as the game goes on, as we get later on in, it's going to pretty much take over and give him a little bit more of an advantage. But it's all about who can get the early advantage right now for EG. They're trying to pretty much take it just from the beginning. And with the Fiddlesticks, I mean, I want to say you're more impactful earlier in the game because of your ultimate, unless you build a little bit more damage, but we're going to see how Krepo builds.
This bottom lane now, Wicked with that Sunfire Cape on. He's going to have Froggen coming in. Actually, Ocelot is going to go on to Froggen. Shen coming in as well.
Wow.
Ocelot going to flash to the back, and Froggen is so very low. Wicked dive bombs him, and Kevin gets the kill onto Froggen at the top. And that Zach just took a massive arc there, like into the sky, and then just dumped straight down. And good stuff to watch.
I think that's the dunk. Like you're talking about Jarvan dunking or Master Yi dunking, Zach just dunked.
That was a beast of a move. Right now, though, Shaka is 1 versus 3 here in the middle. Rest of EG coming to make sure that they don't lose that outer turret. It is 3-2 to turrets in favor of EG, with the difference being that outer middle.
And right now, Yellow Pete, he's pulling a little bit of Genja, being really quiet the past couple of minutes here. Just in there pushing that top lane, trying to farm. He's going to hit. Oh, he's going to hit with an Ash Arrow.
Yeah, but the problem is they're not in that immediate area to really get in onto him. Yeah, he's going to get slowed there coming out there. He's a chain of corruption. He's not going to spread to Candy Panda, who's going to get 1 Q onto him, and that pretty much spells death. There is the taunt coming down as well. And wow, that was really, really close. The minions actually are still having a go here. Another couple coming through. Not going to be quite enough to finish off. But that was well done by Yellow Pete, considering the fact that it was 2 versus 1. And it was all, that's the thing about Ash as well, that you get hit by the arrow, you think there's no one near me. It's such a long stun. It takes a while for us here. But when you actually get hit with it yourself, it feels like about 5 seconds longer than it actually is. And then you get hit with a volley, and as soon as you're in range for a Q, you pretty much say goodnight against Ash.
Yeah, you're like, yep, I'm dead. Might as well fight it out. And like you were saying, he almost actually won that fight against Candy Panda. Except that Infidia's just kind of held out a little bit more than his did. And Krepo, with this Oracle, I have to say, he's cleaned out a lot of wards. He's really given them a lot of control. He's missing a couple right now because Nist's been doing a fantastic job with just replenishing them over and over. And you might look at it as this way. Look at the Philo Stone. It didn't give an early advantage for an early Oracle, but it's allowing him to keep refreshing this ward coverage. And there's the Oracle now. So got like 3-4 minutes later than Krepo, but they haven't really been able to make any big plays off of the Oracle that EG had early on.
And picked himself up an extra pink ward in there with that one, so it's probably going to go down to a high priority target. Dragon coming up in 30 seconds or so probably is that target, as Ocelot waits in the brush.
Cue the Jaws theme. Ah,
stalking his prey. It's kind of like a mosquito stalking an elephant at that point, though. Wicked is pretty tanky now with that frozen heart in as well.
I'm trying to think about that analogy. Just like, Yeah, no, it works though. It's like, I mean, there's no way he's going to take him down with that Sunfire Cape, with the Frozen Heart on top of that. That's too much armor for Ocelot to deal with, unless he has that last Whisper, which he's still currently building right now. And EG, they're starting to group up here. They want to force a fight, and right now SK doesn't have too much vision. Obviously, that Q's going to help him out with that. And I believe, yeah, Dragon is up right now, so they want to contest this. They want to be able to take this first Dragon for themselves.
I don't think it's going to be able to happen for them, though. Krepo has cleared pretty much both of these routes in towards that blue, in towards the Dragon now, except the blue buff side, which actually is going to be finished off right now. So the thing is, they've got complete vision control here, EG. SK are going to be flying blind, and from what their teammates can see, as Hercubot's going to go in there, we are going to see Shen joining the party as a Cataclysm is quite good. Chain of Corruption comes in, Yellow Pete and Candy Panda are fighting at the top. Ocelot going on towards Froggen, he gets the kill, but Ocelot will die here to Shaka. Meanwhile, on the top side, we did see Yellow Pete go down. Krepo died as well. Kevin here being focused by Wicked, but he's got so many men attacking him. Is he going to get away? Well, he's going to get his passive propped, and SK are trying to do it all over the wall.
They got
one more bit.
Sunfire Cape ticking.
There we go.
Oh, Captain stealing it away. Waiting for that, but that was a really interesting fight. So, EG, they got Dragon. Good job, guys, but you lost 4 members, and SK only lost 1. So, in the end, SK pretty much coming out ahead in that, and it was a really interesting fight, too, because Krepo, actually, no, let's start with Nif. He got an amazing ultimate off. That Strangle Thorns locked down Evil Geniuses from leaving that pit and just kept him out of the fight for a long time. Krepo got knocked up, so he wasn't able to use his ultimate anytime. Then he actually flashed away to get out of range so he could find the ulti. And then Yellow Pete dodged the arrow and it hit him instead. So it locked him down for a little bit longer. Then he finally used it at about a 5th life and just sat there on the main tanks with Hercubot and Kevin. Unfortunately, wasn't able to kill them, but you know, great fight by SK to really space them out and take advantage of their whole, you know, composition.
So let's have a look at some of the items coming in. SK have got double Runic Bulwark already finished into this one. On the other side, just the Aegis so far with Shaka. which he's doing a red buff right now. I think he might have a decent amount of cash to actually be headed home with. Or just 350, so that's going to take a little while anyway. So he obviously just went in there a few seconds ago, and actually, yeah, he did. 26 minutes in, so he's only had that 50 seconds right now. So he's going to be a little bit behind when it comes to picking up that runic bulwark.
I'm looking at Shaker's items, and he has the no magic mantle to build into runic bulwark, but why would you build that right now? I'm looking at the other team because, you know, Kevin does obviously do a little bit of magic damage, but you're against pretty much a full AD team. So you could probably leave it at Aegis, go for another route, build another item, then come back to runic bulwark if you want to in the end. But obviously, I mean, he's a much better player than I am, and his story actually going from a 700 ELO player to 2300 in such a short amount of time it's pretty awesome.
There's hope for us all, apparently. Although I think duo with Froggen might have helped out on that front as well. So Quicksilver Sash here added up for Froggen. Speaking of the devil, also got that last Whisper and the Muramana Brutalizer from earlier on. Man immune. I should probably not get too far ahead of that one. On the other side, pretty much similar there for Ocelot, as we are going to see him now becoming the focus of being stalked, as that bottom lane of EG are moving in with Wicked as well. The Zaku is now significantly bigger than earlier on when he was in trouble, but here comes Shen. Yellow Peak down to half. There's a death mark going out. Won't quite finish off though with the use of the barrier, as well as Ocelot had the chain of corruption spreading over to him. Wicked here trying to blast Ocelot down. Ocelot is going very, very low. Wicked got vision of him. Let's see if he can dunk him down one more time. No, it was so close to connecting. He's going to keep going for this one though. He's done a good job, but he has to back away because SK are actually pushing the top lane down and have taken the inner turret.
And look what we're seeing. This is like an exact replica of what we saw in that last game with the NIP. It was Mimer and Bjergsen then. Now it's Kevin and Ocelot pretty much two-man grouping together and stopping Evo Genesis from making some plays happen. Now they're going to get an inhibitor turret for free, I think.
Well,
or at least get it really low.
Shaka's trying to hold them back from this one as Hercubot just scoots out to Nif as the knock-up almost connected to him halfway through from that one. Wicked now is going to finally get himself home. Already had it in that Haunting Guise, which I say already, he just literally picked up as he came back with that one. So talked about most of the items here, but not quite the AD carries right now. So let's have a look at them. Yellow Peak starting off here with Varus, got the Bloodthirster Zeal and a last Whisper over on the other side, comparing that to a Negatron Cloak coming out for Candy Panda's. Wicked and Ocelot again going to go head-to-head in this one. Deathmark and a full combo gets Wicked down to half HP. I can now finally get back to Candy Panda, who's just finished off from that Negatron Cloak, of course, that Quicksilver Sash. Yeah,
so Ashe is a very interesting champion. I mean, you're mostly prioritized just for your Initiate. You do a lot of damage. You have the potential to kite really well and to chase, but you don't need to build full damage right away. It's kind of like a Vayne where, you know, you build your Blade of the Rune King Fan Answer, or you just go Blade of the Rune King, then like a defensive item if you do need it. Wicked actually going to get very low here. Ocelot, he might be able to pick up the kill.
Yeah, he's going to keep going the Death Mark, of course, using that last encounter between them, so decided not to go in for that one, not to carry on through that one. But yes, he's got a lot of armor as well there as well, so as well. Great English skills, Joe. So,
I said thick and thin, so don't worry.
No, you said thick and fast.
Thick and fast.
Thick and
yeah, there you
go.
said
thick and thin.
Yeah.
You're right, it's thick and fast. Let's get away from this topic and on to the ward control, because that's what both teams are fighting for right now. A lot of it being doing around Baron, as there comes Wicked flying through the air again on towards Ocelot. He's out the way and says, stop split pushing already, will you, Ocelot? It's getting a little bit boring for me. Problem is, Wicked can just about push him away and hold on, but can't really stay around long enough to actually fight him, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he can 1v1 him, but in the meantime, we do have a potential engage here.
Yeah, this is going to be the Cataclysm going down onto 2. EG need to catch up with this one as Hercubot and Kevin coming in from the side of this one. Froggen is going to finish off Nif, but can the rest of the team do this? Candy Panda comes in. Crepo's low. Shaka's trying to get away, but he's perma-slowed from Candy Panda. He's going to be able to slide over the wall. Q, not needed. He's going to flash here, Hercubot, for this one. There is the Q connecting, and it's really hard to get away from Elysian. He's going to stick to you, and there is Ocelot coming up from the bottom lane. Candy Panda has killed Froggen. Shaka's going down. Hercubot gets that one. He's now dominating at 6-0-5.
Good guy Shaka runs long enough and stays alive long enough to give everyone an assist on SKC right there as Ocelot came in, but but great play of SK right there. Even though they got separated and engaged upon by Shaker, all they lost was Nif. All they lost was that support, and they're gonna get a Baron off this. They got 4 kills because Wicked was bot lane as also just started roaming around really quickly. And SK, I mean, you got to give them credit. This is a much needed victory for them, and they're playing like they won it.
Wicked did start to come up there as though he was going to be the hero that elastic slingshot drive-bys. Well, he has obviously got no smite, so can't really do that on his way through either. So would have been a lot less impressive than I somehow had imagined in my head. And well, he got hook-shotted out and then decided to move away. So a great pickup here for SK Gaming. That will put them 8,000 gold in the lead from this one.
And really, you got to give also a lot of credit. Like, the pressure he's applying with this Zed, with this assassin, is kind of unlike anything he's done before. Well, not before, but what I'm trying to say is like he hasn't been as effective in other games as he's been with these assassins, and he's really proven that with the split pushing with this Zed, like he's really strong player. Like, I don't know, it's been kind of questioned a lot lately, but he's proven it to everyone that he can start playing assassins a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue that.
Well, luckily for him, Bjergsen made a tutorial video of how to play Zed again their earlier game against Meet You Maker, so I'm sure you watched that one for a few tips as well. As we are going to see EG now going in on towards Kevin. Hercubot is going to be coming around the side from this one, but Shaka is as well as Crepo jumps out of the shadows, manages to get a kill there as Wicked going to get kicked back into the rest of SK. There's a Strangled Thorns which knocks 2 of them up into the air. Wicked going so low, but he's so incredibly tanky that they can actually get him away. There's the arrow coming through, will actually slow everyone thanks to the splash from it, and the fight for blue buff is on. I cannot see who took that one in the end. I think it was Shaka that actually got it, and they are going to be backing away now. So overall, not too bad for EG, manages to get a kill, but what's bad for them is Ocelot has been split pushing again, and he's managing to now go on towards the inhibitor, and EG is still sticking around to fight.
Yeah, SK's just not trying to not let them back away right now. They keep chasing, running away. He got the inhibitor for free and the inhibitor turret. Phenomenal play of Ocelot to really recognize what was happening. And now SK, if they don't stop him, they're going to get a free dragon anyways.
Well, Wicked has gone back, which we've seen how Wicked and Ocelot's interactions have really gone there. The dragon here is started by SK Gaming. Well, Yellow Peach is using the piercing arrow to check, even though he was outside of it. Is Crepo going to get caught in the grasping roots? This could be dangerous. Shane coming down with the Stand United as Froggen dives into the middle. Well, look how quickly he goes down. Double kill. This is going to be another one coming out. Shen picks that one up, and Ocelot finishes off with a death mark onto Yellow Pete. And that is 4 men down. After that, well, it was a 5v4 as well in the end, with Ocelot coming around to mop up. Wicked was left with the task of clearing base, but SK there, if you talk about split pushing, that was just how you do it. That was a real 101 as they just go over the wall. Taking the sneaky route into
Are they going for the win?
I think they might be.
Oh, wow. This is a very ballsy play, but it's going to work out for
there's
SK.
20 seconds on the clock here, and SK, with that movement, the mobility that they've got coming through the walls here, they're going to go straight for it. Wicked dives in them, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to hold on. 2 seconds for Crepo to come up. He's now back in play, but both Nexus turrets are down. They're going to go for this one. They're going to try and finish off the game. Nexus going very low. Jarvan spawns, but SK Gaming able to finish off before EG spawn back into the game. And that will be a massive victory, a massively important one in the grand scheme of things for SK. They move away from MYM at the bottom. They move towards the likes of Gambit, EG, Ninjas in Pajamas, who are all at 11 or 12 wins in Ninjas in Pajamas case. They've just tightened things up here in the mid-table even further.
Wow, just wow. I mean, I did not expect them to finish the game like that. And I was going to say, you know, Evil Geniuses, the engage that they pulled off on SK, realizing they had a 5-on-4 situation. It was a very ballsy play, and unfortunately it didn't work out for them as they got turned around. But just awesome. That split push, just that Zed in general, wasn't too effective early game. He really became that force to be reckoned with as the game progressed, where no one could really 1v1 him anymore.
Yeah, and it's funny that we had this interview with him where he said that he wants to play more of this style of champion and do more of that kind of thing, the assassin role, and they did it so well. I mean, that last fight, if you look at that one, the way he was split pushing top, they'd won the fight, stopped them recalling down by the dragon, taken the dragon, and by the time they actually got